stories across the globe to stories here at home. This is the National News Broadcast. A very good evening to you. I'm Sharifah Tahir.
Hello there. Good evening. I'm Niket Karunaratne. We'll start off with the headlines as usual.
COVID-19 vaccines will be administered for all between the age group of 12 and 30 from September. First dose of Sinopharm vaccine has been provided to nearly 1.1 million people in the last 3 days. Myanmar faces the risk of being one of the major epicenters for the COVID-19 outbreak. Visal Martale water supply project vested with the public. A total of 240,000 kilos of paddy purchased in the Ampara district. Price rates of domestic electrical cables to drop by 11% from the 1st of August. The body of Ishalini will be exhumed tomorrow.
We move on to those and other stories in detail now. Presidential Media Centre says that under the instructions of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, plans have been made to vaccinate all between the age group of 12 and 30. The vaccination of all citizens over the age of 30 is expected to be completed by August 31st. These remarks were shared at the first press conference held while inaugurating the Presidential Media Unit today. The Presidential Media Centre aims to provide accurate and efficient information to the media and the public on the progress of the implementation of programs to fulfill the pledges made to the people in the policy statement Vistas of Prosperity and Splendor. The Presidential Media Centre was declared open today under the patronage of Senior Advisor to President Lalit Veeratunga. Director General of the President's Media Division, Sudeva Hettiarachchi, and spokesperson to the President, Kingsley Ratnayaka, were also present at this occasion. During this weekly media briefing, journalists get an opportunity to ask questions directly or online from the President's spokesman and government officials on selected topics. The Media Centre is equipped with a number of facilities and it can host up to 40 journalists at a time. The journalists were briefed today on the progress and future plans of the COVID-19 vaccination drive. Responding to the questions directed by the journalists, President's Senior Advisor Lalit Veeratunga said that the vaccination of all citizens over the age of 30 would be completed by August 31st. He also added that the plans have been made to vaccinate all between the age group of 18 and 30 and will be implemented as soon as the recommendations of the World Health Organization are received. President's Senior Advisor Lalit Veeratunga also said that according to a recent report, over 90% of the vaccines have been shared among the wealthiest countries in the world, while only less than 5% of global vaccines have been distributed among the developing countries. Therefore, the progress made by Sri Lanka is acquiring vaccine stocks is a great accomplishment, he added. Director General of the President's Media Division, Sudeva Hettiarachchi, noted that it is the responsibility of all journalists to make the Presidential Media Centre a unique facility for sharing accurate information. Spokesperson to the President, Kingsley Ratnayaka, highlighted that the Presidential Media Centre could be introduced as one of the foremost steps taken to fulfill the President's promise to provide accurate information to the public as envisioned in the National Policy Framework Vistas of Prosperity and Splendor. He briefed the media at length on the progress made by the COVID-19 vaccination drive and the steps taken by the President to carry it out more effectively.
Health reports have indicated that 1,076,773 persons in the country have been administered with the first dose of the Sinopharm vaccine in the last 3 days. So far, more than 10,712,817 vaccine doses have been administered under the COVID-19 immunization program. On the 26th, 393,401 persons received the first dose of the Sinopharm vaccine, while 338,914 persons received the relevant dose on the 27th, and 344,058 persons received the vaccine yesterday. Accordingly, 1,076,773 persons in the country have been administered with the first dose of the Sinopharm vaccine in the last 3 days. State Minister Professor Charnajaya Subada dismissed reports which have indicated that Sri Lanka has taken measures to purchase 13 million Sinovac COVID vaccine doses at a rate of $15 each as baseless. 1,850 COVID-19 patients were detected from the country today. Meanwhile, 1,641 patients left the hospitals following recovery. Public Health Inspectors Association has indicated that relevant provisions will be facilitated if the police request to provide recommendations to take legal action against those who engage in unnecessary public gatherings. Civil Aviation Authority has taken steps to remove the limit imposed on the number of passengers arriving to the country via flights. Accordingly, air passengers who have taken both doses of COVID vaccines are allowed to arrive in the country in accordance to the seating capacity of the flight. However, the maximum passenger capacity for the flights with passengers who have only received one vaccine or no vaccine at all is at 75. Police media spokesman Senior DIG Ajit Rohana says that police have taken 112 persons into custody during the last 24 hours for violating quarantine regulations. Accordingly, a total of 52,513 persons have been arrested thus far for such violations.
We have arrested 112 persons in respect of the offences of face mask, social distancing and other quarantine rules and regulations. 90 out of 112 were arrested in respect of the offence of face mask. Total number of 52,513 persons have been arrested in connection with the same offences in the 30th of October 2020 to date, and we are conducting continuous quarantine operations across the country. 8,214 persons have been checked at the entry and exit points of Western Province, along with 3,953 vehicles. In addition to that, 335 persons have been admonished and they have been sent back to their original places as they were trying to cross the provincial border. Therefore, everyone should adhere with quarantine rules and regulations.
In the meantime, we take a look at the global situation of the pandemic. Myanmar's state media has reported that Myanmar's military ruler is seeking for greater cooperation with the international community to contain coronavirus.
Myanmar's military called for international help on Wednesday as the country battles a surging wave of COVID infections. It marks a shift in tone for the military, left largely isolated by the rest of the globe when they seized power in a coup earlier this year. The junta leader said vaccinations need to be increased and called for cooperation with fellow ASEAN and, quote, friendly countries. Nations, including the US and Britain, have slapped sanctions on the military rulers over the coup and repression of pro-democracy protesters. Efforts to contain the virus have been hampered by floods. In Karen State, bordering Thailand, photos reveal scenes of horror as healthcare workers wade through floodwaters, carrying patients on beds, weak and desperate for oxygen, or worried that staying at home could spread to other family members. The fast-growing outbreak amid ongoing chaos in the wake of the coup has exacerbated efforts by medics and funeral services working around the clock. The military has been wary of outside help in past disasters, forcing Myanmar's people to help each other. Though a previous administration did allow in aid via ASEAN after a devastating cyclone in 2008, only 3% of Myanmar's population are vaccinated, according to a Reuters tracker. 40,000 inmates in densely packed prisons are a major concern. The official infection number since June is nearly 5,000, but medics and funeral services say the actual infection and death toll is much higher. Myanmar's military has also arrested several doctors treating COVID-19 patients independently.
Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa says that a program to distribute clean drinking water has been designed under community water supply projects for the people in rural areas who have not been covered with large-scale water supply projects. The Prime Minister made these remarks while vesting the Visal Matale water supply project with the public through the video technology from Temple Trees yesterday. The Visal Matale water supply project expects to distribute water to the Matale town and the surrounding areas. Accordingly, a total of 354,000 people belonging to 90,000 families will be benefited from this project. The project has been completed at a cost of 31,000 million rupees, funded through the financial assistance from the Sri Lankan government and France. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa said that many people in various parts of the country are suffering due to lack of safe drinking water supplies. He said that as a government, they were able to present a collective plan to avert such a situation. He said that half of the nation has been deprived of safe drinking water provided through water lines. He said that many projects were initiated during his tenure as the president, but the Yahapalana government deliberately took measures to halt these initiatives. He said that if these initiatives had been carried out without any hindrances, the entire nation would have received safe drinking water by now. Therefore, the Prime Minister said that the Vistas of Prosperity policy statement has allocated a larger portion for the initiatives related to safe drinking water supply. He added that they have initiated necessary projects across the country to provide safe drinking water through water lines after forming this government. The Prime Minister said that a program to distribute clean drinking water has been designed under community water supply projects for the people in rural areas who have not been covered with large-scale water supply projects. Therefore, he added that the 40% safe drinking water supply cover in the country prior to the formation of the government is expected to be increased up to 80% by 2025.
ආරක්ෂිත පානීය ජලය ලැබෙන සෑස්ම අපි දැනටමත් සාකස් කරලා අවසන් බව අපි සතුටින් දන්වන්න කැමතියි. අපේ රජයේ බලයට පත්වන විට 140කට ආසන්න වෙලා තිබුණු මුළු රටේම නල ජල ආවරණය 2025 වසර වන විට 80ක් දක්වා ගෙන යාම අපේ ඉලක්කයයි.
Ministers Vasudeva Nanayakkara and Janaka Bandara Tennakon, Central Province Governor Lalit Yugamage, State Minister Sanat Nishantha, Parliamentarians Rohana Disanayaka, Pramita Bandara Tennakon, Nalaka Bandara Kortegoda, Gayashan Navananda, French Ambassador to Sri Lanka Eric Levantu, Secretary to the Prime Minister Gamini Senarat and Chief of Prime Minister's Staff Yoshitha Rajapaksa were present on this occasion. The newly constructed Urinary Tract Surgical Unit and Kidney Diseases Institute building at the Sri Lanka National Hospital premises was declared open today with the participation of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. The new institute consists of 13 intensive care unit beds. The project was completed at a cost of 300 million rupees. The three-storied building has been constructed with the financial assistance provided by EAM Maliban Textile Private Limited. The chairman of the company, Ilyas Abdul Karim, engaged in a cordial conversation with the Prime Minister. Minister Pavitra Vanyarachi was present on this occasion. Meanwhile, new chairman of the Tangol Municipal Council, W.P. Aryadasa, was sworn in before Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa at the Temple Trees today. Municipal Councillor Aryadasa was appointed to the chairmanship through a secret ballot for the post, which was vacant following the removal of the former chairman Ravindu Vedarachi, who represented the United National Party. State Minister D.V. Chanaka, Parliamentarian Sagar Karyavasam, Additional Secretary to the Prime Minister Chaminda Kularatna were present on this occasion.
In the meantime, the program to purchase paddy harvest of the Yalla season from the farmers in Ampara district under the state certified price rates through Paddy Marketing Board has been successfully conducted at present. Minister Mahindananda Alutkamage, State Minister Shashindra Rajapaksha observed the paddy purchasing activities in Ampara today. The government recently issued an extraordinary gazette notification on the certified price rates for paddy. Accordingly, 1 kilo of Nadu paddy has been priced at 50 rupees, 1 kilo of Samba paddy priced at 52 rupees and 1 kilo of Kiri Samba at a rate of 55 rupees. The Paddy Marketing Board has opened 17 stores in paddy harvesting areas in Ampara district for purchasing purposes. During their visit to Ampara district, Minister Mahindananda Alutkamage and State Minister Shashindra Rajapaksha directed their attention on the issues faced by farmers in the paddy purchasing process. Accordingly, the minister instructed the officials to purchase paddy by visiting the areas of the farmers. It was also revealed that 240,000 kilos of paddy has been purchased from Ampara district.
The first animal hospital of the three armed forces, equipped with the latest technological facilities, was declared open recently. The hospital, named Skypet Animal Hospital, was constructed by the Sri Lanka Air Force in Guanpura in Boralla. The dogs being used for security purposes by the three armed forces and the police are being treated at the hospital. The hospital is a concept of Commanding Chief of the Sri Lanka Air Force, Air Marshal Sudarshana Patirana. Another objective of the hospital is to provide services to outside consumers as well.
A special briefing for parliamentarians will be held on the 3rd of August at the Parliamentary complex prior to the Kotalavala Defence University Act debate. The briefing will be presided over by Minister Chamal Rajapaksa. The second reading of the draft bill of the Sir General John Kotalavala Defence University Act scheduled to be debated on August 6th. Accordingly, Minister Chamal Rajapaksa has provided a briefing to all parliamentarians on the 3rd of August at 2 p.m. Issuing a statement, the office of the Leader of the House has indicated that the minister is expected to brief the parliamentarians on the contents of the draft bill. Meanwhile, parliamentarians will be given the opportunity to present their proposals regarding the relevant draft bill.
Steps have been taken to reduce the prices of domestic electric cables by 11% from August 1st. A clarification in this regard was made during a media briefing held at the State Ministry of Cooperative Services, Marketing Development and Consumer Protection today. The relevant price revision was made according to decisions reached during discussions held with 4 mainstream production companies on the increased price rates related to domestic electrical cables.
The remains of the 16-year-old girl child Ishalini Jude, who died while being employed as a domestic aide at the residence of parliamentarian Rishad Badiuddin, will be exhumed tomorrow for a second post-mortem. District Judge of Nuwara District Court Lushaka Kumari Dharmakirti ordered today to exhume the remains of the child before an expert medical board in accordance to quarantine health instructions and directed to the Peradeniya Teaching Hospital for a second post-mortem under strict police protection. State Counsel Hansa Aberatna made submissions before the Nuwara Magistrates Court today through a B report on the order issued by the Colombo Magistrate Court, exhumed the remains of the child and conduct another post-mortem. It was declared that the remains of the deceased child has been buried at a public cemetery in Hatton, Dayagama West Division belonging to Nuwara Judicial Division, and the exhuming of the remains should be conducted under the supervision of Nuwara Magistrate. Considering the submissions presented by the State Council, District Judge Lushaka Kumari Dharmakirti ordered to exhume the body at 8:30 a.m. tomorrow before an expert medical board in accordance to quarantine regulations with the participation of public health inspectors and the Grama-Niladhari officer in charge of the relevant division. Accordingly, a strict police protection has been deployed at the public cemetery situated at the Dayagama West area. A group of workers in Katabulawa estate in Navalapitiya engaged in a protest today demanding to deliver the maximum punishment against the culprits related to the incident. Several Hill Country women's organizations also engaged in protesters at Hatton town demanding to grant justice for Ishalini. They emphasized that the relevant authorities should take necessary legal actions to eradicate violence against women and children in the country. Another protest was organized in Kandaloya estate area in Yatiantota today demanding justice for Ishalini. The protest was organized with the participation of estate workers, university students, teachers and school children.
Police spokesman Senior DIG Ajit Rohana briefed on the expected services to be rendered through the establishment of the Special Monitoring Centre at the Children and Women's Bureau headquarters in Colombo to monitor video clips and photos related to child abuse shared in the country at present.
We have established a special monitoring center at the Children and Women Bureau headquarters, Colombo, in order to monitor the uploading of pornographic videos and pornographic pictures in respect of children. We have utilized the modern technology in order to maintain the service, and the center was established on the 17th of June 2021, and within a period of 40 days from 21 of June, from 17th of June 2021 to 28th of July 2021, it has been reported 17,629 cases, 17,629 video clips or photos related to child pornography have been uploaded to the internet through various instruments operated from Sri Lanka. We are conducting investigation in order to arrest the persons. They have committed offences under the Obscene Publication Act. In addition to that, if if that particular boy or a girl is a Sri Lankan, and if that particular incident happened in Sri Lanka, the perpetrators have committed multiple offences. Therefore, we are going to arrest them and they will be produced before the magistrate under the relevant laws and regulations. Therefore, everyone is requested to not to involve in such crimes and not to upload any items related to child pornography or cruelty to children, not to upload any video clips or photos related to child pornography.
Organic fertilizer production in Mahaweli zones has been initiated successfully. The Mahaweli Organic Crops Promotion Week, initiated on the 26th of July, will be continued until tomorrow. Accordingly, under the program, the public will be educated on the organic fertilizer production for trade, provided with technological knowledge on production, and will be encouraged on the production of organic fertilizer for paddy and other cultivations. The organic fertilizer requirement for 10 Mahaweli zones is at 1.4 million metric tons. Organic fertilizer production programs have been imitated in Rithi Maaliyadda, Padiyathalava and Mahaoya divisions belonging to Rambakan Oya Mahaweli zone in Ampara. State Minister Siripala Gamlath engaged in an observational tour in the areas where the programs have been initiated to monitor the achieved progress. Also, the State Minister directed his attention on the issues faced by farmers on organic fertilizer production. Relevant resources required for organic fertilizer production distributed among home garden owners during this occasion. State Minister Vimalavira Disanayaka was also present at this event. A production plant with high-quality organic fertilizer has been initiated at the Boralanda State Farm in Valimada. The project was initiated following the decision reached to ban the importation of chemical fertilizer.
Professor Chandana Jayaratna explained the causes behind an optical phenomenon named the halo effect, which had been cited in the southern province of the country recently. He made these remarks while addressing a media briefing today.
There are reports that some people have seen halo around the sun, and this can be happened even around the moon. And the reason is that when you have ice crystals, particularly the hexagonal type of ice crystals in the sky, that you cannot see the ice crystals because it's very rare or it's distributed evenly. When the sunlight comes through those ice crystals, the refraction will take place, and that will give a prism effect, and that will give a halo like this. And also sometimes the reflection, in addition to the refraction that I mentioned before, reflection takes place and then it is white coloring. So this is very rare because when you don't have enough water vapor, that you don't get clouds like that, but these are tiny clouds like cirrus clouds, but you cannot see the cloud layer. So this indicates that there may be some rainless period or the less rain in the future. But if this system is seen with lot of cloud layer, then of course you can expect rain. And usually this is also called 22-degree halo, because when you stretch your hand like this, that the circle is within this hand area. So that is why we call it sometimes 22-degree halo. And in very good old days, that when there is when the meteorology was not so developed, people use this kind of phenomena to describe the weather, and it cannot be seen in all over the country at the same time. But now this particular one is reported only from Mathura area, and this is common to all over the world, but depending on the sky condition, this phenomena can be seen.
That's all the news for today. Join us again at the same time tomorrow. Good night.
Have a pleasant night.